Apple stock has been rising ahead of the company's annual fall product launch event. The consumer electronics giant is seen unveiling the iPhone 14 series smartphones and other gadgets at an event in September. Apple reportedly is gearing up for an iPhone 14 launch that's at least as big as last year's iPhone 13 launch. Bloomberg reported Thursday that Apple has told its assemblers to make 90 million of its newest handsets, on par with last year's launch period. Apple is counting on its affluent customer base to help sustain iPhone sales during a rough economic climate, Bloomberg said. Before we get into the news, I would like to welcome you to my channel. On this channel we look at the latest news surrounding Apple news. I would like to announce a giveaway I will be hosting. I will be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card, and all you have to do is subscribe and like the video and make sure you watch till the end of the video. Now let's get into the news. The Cupertino, Calif.-based company still expects to make about 220 million iPhones in total for 2022, also level with last year, Bloomberg said. Meanwhile, sales of low-priced and mid-tier Android smartphones are slumping, analysts say. On the stock market today, Apple stock rose 2.1% to close at 172.10. It has been consolidating for the past 32 weeks with a buy point of 183.04, according to IBD MarketSmith charts. In a positive development, the relative strength line for Apple stock has been hitting new highs as it outperforms the S&P 500. The action is highlighted with a blue dot on daily and weekly MarketSmith charts. Apple is expected to introduce 4 versions of its iPhone 14, which likely will be incremental upgrades to the current flagship models. The company's 16th generation iPhones will be its 3rd generation 5G-enabled handsets. Bernstein analyst Tony Sacconaghi said Friday on CNBC that the iPhone 14 will show whether Apple is recession-proof. Some pundits made that claim after the company's better-than-expected June quarter report. Many investors feel, okay, we may have economic weakness going forward, but Apple is perhaps immune to that given the franchise strength, he said. Apple's supposed resiliency still requires further evidence, Sacconaghi said. The question is, how do consumers respond to the iPhone 14 launch, he said. Do they upgrade at similar rates as they have been recently? Or do they upgrade at slower or faster rates? Industry speculation has Apple holding its fall product launch event on September 13, Loop Capital analyst John Donovan said in a note to clients Wednesday. However, there is growing evidence that Apple might hold the event 1 week earlier, on September 6, he said. Loop rates Apple stock as buy. In addition to the iPhone 14, Apple is likely to introduce its Apple Watch Series 8 wearables at the event. It's been a busy year for Apple. In March, the company announced its budget-friendly iPhone SE and Mac Studio. The company then unveiled a new round of software updates across its devices in June. The latest rumors suggest Apple could announce a cheaper version of the iPad this fall, along with a 27-inch iMac Pro, with Apple's long-awaited virtual reality (VR) headset possibly coming next year. The recent stock market rally has sent Apple stock surging, but it's still down 6% year-to-date. Even at a forward price-to-earnings ratio of 27, which is a premium to the average stock's multiple of 21, Apple is still a top stock to consider for 3 important reasons. Apple's most recent investor update shows that its devices continue to win over new customers. Through the fiscal third quarter ended June 25, Mac sales were down 10% year-over-year, but more importantly, Apple reported that nearly half of the people that bought a new Mac were new to the product. The same trend is happening with the iPad and Apple Watch. The iPad installed base reached a new all-time high, with over half of those purchasing an iPad last quarter being new to the product, while over 2/3 of those purchasing an Apple Watch were new customers. Perhaps the most telling sign of Apple's brand strength is its growing adoption in the enterprise space, where companies are increasingly using Apple products as a strategy to win new talent. Apple has a full slate of new products and software updates on tap for the next year to keep its installed base growing. But at some point, investors should expect Apple to finally reveal what it's been working on in the transportation space in recent years. An Apple car has long been rumored to be in development, but according to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple's car project is not just software, but also includes plans to launch a fully functioning autonomous vehicle. In March, Kuo expected Apple's vehicle to go into production as early as 2025. That said, there are plenty of new categories of products that Apple hasn't penetrated yet that could lead to big returns for investors. With Apple generating over $100 billion in free cash flow on a trailing 12-month basis and spending $25 billion on research and development, there are obviously plenty of projects that are kept top secret at Apple headquarters. One opportunity for Apple's growing services business, which reported growth of 12% in the last quarter, is advertising. Apple has numerous listings open for advertising positions, which means the company's next leg of growth in the services business may not be on the consumer side, but within the enterprise market. The global advertising market is estimated to be approximately $750 billion, so this is another opportunity, along with transportation, that could take the lid off of Apple's growth potential. Evercore IC analyst Amit Daryanani has estimated Apple will generate $4 billion in revenue this year from advertising, which is included in services revenue. Looking out to 2025, advertising revenue could grow another fivefold to $20 billion. Apple's services business generated nearly $60 billion in revenue through the first 3 quarters of fiscal 2022, which is primarily from the App Store and paid subscriptions. Apple's main advantage is that it has an installed base of over 1.8 billion active devices. That's millions of customers using Apple's apps every day, where it has full control of advertising over its operating system. Growth in the installed base of active devices and new products and services are 2 key drivers of Apple's expansion. An important third driver is increasing customer engagement with those services. On the last earnings call, Apple reported that paid subscriptions are now over 860 million, up from 480 million across the services platform over 2 years ago. The company's brand and strong stance on user privacy help explain why customers are increasingly investing in the Apple ecosystem. But at a basic level, Apple simply has the resources to keep pouring billions of dollars into new features and services to keep customers loyal to the brand. It's difficult to imagine how an iconic brand with $100 billion in annual free cash flow can be stopped. Apple likely has several new tricks up its sleeve. The optionality for new growth avenues over time is one of the best reasons to hold the stock, and if you don't already own it, it's not too late to buy Apple. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and like the video, as it will help out the channel a lot. Make sure you do not forget to turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon so you do not miss the latest news surrounding Apple news.